Imagine waking up every day with a burning desire to be the best in the world at what you do. Now imagine that dream being impossible to reach. Impossible until you discover that there are only 3 paths to mastery, just 3. And once you learn them, nothing will stand between you and your goals. By the end of this, your mindset will never be the same. You're about to discover the 3 unstoppable forces that separate the dreamers from the doers, the amateurs from the masters. Keep watching, because the next few minutes will change your life forever. When you look at the most successful people in the world, one thing is crystal clear. They didn't get there by luck or talent alone. No, the truth is they mastered something that most people refuse to commit to: relentless practice. Michael Jordan, often considered the greatest basketball player in history, was cut from his high school basketball team. Let that sink in. The player who would go on to win 6 NBA championships and become a global icon was once told he wasn't good enough. So what did he do? He didn't quit. Instead, he went to work. Jordan spent hours, days, and years perfecting his skills. He didn't just practice the basics, he drilled the fundamentals until they became second nature. He practiced the footwork, the shots, the pivots, the little things that most players would overlook. And when everyone else took a break, he was in the gym working on his weaknesses. That relentless practice, day after day, fueled his success. But what made Jordan exceptional wasn't just his practice, it was his ability to push through every obstacle, every failure, and still come back stronger. Now let's talk about the psychology of practice. Every time you engage in deliberate practice, you're rewiring your brain. You're creating new neural pathways that make you faster, smarter, more precise. But here's the kicker: that rewiring process can be painful. It takes patience. It requires that you push through discomfort, fatigue, and frustration. And that's where most people falter. They start strong, they get excited, but when the practice gets hard, when the results don't come instantly, they quit. And that's the difference between those who reach mastery and those who never make it. Relentless practice isn't just about doing something over and over. It's about doing it with intention. It's about embracing the struggle, the failure, the mistakes. It's about understanding that failure isn't the end. It's simply the beginning of the next lesson. Every time you fail, you learn. Every time you fall short, you get one step closer to your goal. The real key to mastery is not just practice, it's corrective practice. You don't just repeat, you adjust, you adapt, you improve. Think about Serena Williams. Do you think she became the greatest tennis player of all time by hitting a few good serves here and there? No. Serena practiced in ways that others weren't willing to. She practiced when she was tired, when she was injured, when no one was watching. It wasn't glamorous and it certainly wasn't easy. But each hour of practice, each drop of sweat, each moment of failure, those were all investments in her success. She didn't get caught up in the hype. She focused on what mattered, the practice. And that commitment to relentless practice made her a champion. But relentless practice doesn't just apply to sports, it applies to everything. Whether you're building a business, learning to play an instrument, or mastering a craft, the process is the same. It's about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about setting a standard for yourself that is higher than anyone else's. It's about proving to yourself over and over again that you're capable of greatness if you're willing to work for it. You may not see results immediately, and that's okay. The first time you pick up the guitar, it might sound awful. The first time you write, your words may not flow, but the only thing that will make you great is your willingness to keep going. When you show up every day, when you commit to relentless practice, you are building a foundation of success that others will never see. And that foundation, it will carry you to heights you never imagined possible. So, what's the secret to success? It's simple. Keep practicing relentlessly. Don't stop. Keep pushing, keep improving, keep striving for better. Because the moment you stop practicing is the moment you stop growing. And if you want to achieve greatness, if you want to master anything, there's only one way forward: practice. Keep going, and one day you'll look back and realize you become the master you always dreamed of being. You've heard it a million times before: work hard and success will follow. But let me tell you, hard work alone is not enough. There's another path that the masters take, and it's called strategic learning. It's about working smart, not just hard. It's about learning how to learn. Think about Warren Buffett. He's one of the wealthiest people in the world, not because he works harder than everyone else. He doesn't. He works smarter. Every day, Warren Buffett spends hours reading, not because he has to, but because he knows that knowledge is power. He's invested in learning, not just in his business, but in his life. He's always asking, what can I learn today that will make me a better investor, a better leader, a better person? This is strategic learning. It's not just absorbing information. It's using that information to make better decisions faster. But here's the hard truth. You can't just learn everything from everyone. Not all knowledge is created equal. Strategic learning requires that you identify the sources of information that will actually move the needle in your life. It means curating what you learn, not consuming mindlessly. Most people waste time learning from the wrong places, from people who haven't achieved what they want to achieve, and they end up going in circles, wondering why they're stuck. Take a moment to think about Elon Musk. Do you think he became the visionary entrepreneur we know today by simply being born with a tech gene? No, he learned strategically. Musk is known for being a voracious learner, but what sets him apart isn't just how much he learns. It's the speed and depth at which he absorbs information. He reads books on rocket science, he listens to podcasts about artificial intelligence, and he constantly surrounds himself with the best minds in every field. He takes that information and applies it with surgical precision. He doesn't just study for the sake of studying. He studies because he has a vision, and he knows that the faster he can learn, the faster he can disrupt industries and change the world. So what's the secret to strategic learning? It's about being intentional. You must ask yourself, what's the one thing I can learn right now that will make the biggest difference in my life? It's about focusing your energy on learning the skills, strategies, and ideas that will move you forward. It's about creating mental models, frameworks that help you make better decisions faster. Let me give you another example. Think about Steve Jobs. Jobs didn't just rely on his natural talent to build Apple into the tech giant it is today. He was a strategic learner. He didn't focus on learning everything about technology. He focused on learning the intersection of technology and design. He understood that true innovation happens when form meets function, when beauty meets brains. And he became a master at combining these two elements, which is why Apple products are some of the most coveted in the world today. But here's the kicker. Strategic learning also means learning from failure. The greatest learners in the world understand that they don't just need to learn what works, they need to learn from what does. This mindset shifts everything. Instead of seeing failure as a setback, you start seeing it as a lesson, a teacher. It's the very reason that people like Thomas Edison were able to achieve greatness. Edison famously failed over 1,000 times before he invented the light bulb. But he didn't just sit there frustrated. He learned from each failure. He used it as data. Okay, that didn't work. What can I do differently next time? In the end, strategic learning isn't just about collecting information. It's about creating action from that knowledge. You've got to ask the right questions. You've got to apply what you learn in real, tangible ways. And most importantly, you've got to keep learning, because the moment you stop learning is the moment you start falling behind. So let me ask you, what are you going to learn today that will change your tomorrow? Where will you focus your energy? Will you waste it on information that doesn't move you forward? Or will you focus on learning the tools, strategies, and insights that will truly accelerate your journey? This is the path of strategic learning, the path to mastery. And the time to start walking it is now. You've heard it 1,000 times. The secret to success is action. But let me tell you something most people won't tell you. Action without fear is the true key to mastery. It's not just about moving, it's about moving with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. Fearless action is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's the difference between wishing for success and claiming it. Think about someone like Richard Branson. He's built an empire from airlines to space exploration. But here's what most people overlook. Branson didn't succeed because he was always the smartest guy in the room. No, he succeeded because he had the courage to take bold risks when everyone around him said it was impossible. Virgin Airlines, a completely outrageous idea. He didn't have the background in aviation, and many people told him he was crazy. But Branson didn't hesitate. He stepped up, took the plunge, and created a new industry standard. Why? Because he chose the path of fearless action, and that's what propelled him forward. Here's the psychological truth. Fear will always be there. It doesn't go away. It's not a switch you can turn off. But here's the thing. Successful people don't wait for fear to disappear. They move forward despite it. They feel the fear, acknowledge it, and then do it anyway. That's the mindset shift you need to make. Fear is not the enemy. It's the signal that you're pushing past your comfort zone, that you're on the verge of growth. When you stop letting fear control you, you unlock your true potential. Take the example of J.K. Rowling. When she wrote Harry Potter, she was a single mother living on welfare. She faced rejection after rejection from publishers who didn't believe in her story. But what did she do? She didn't stop. She didn't give up. She didn't let the no's become the final word. She took fearless action and kept moving forward, and that decision changed the world. That's the kind of mindset you need, the mindset that refuses to let fear, doubt, or failure stop you. But it's not just about doing things fearlessly, it's about doing them intentionally. Fearless action is only powerful if you know why you're acting and what you're working towards. That's where vision comes in. Vision gives your action purpose. It helps you channel your fear into something productive, something purposeful. Think about Steve Jobs again. His fearlessness wasn't reckless. It was rooted in his vision for the future. He saw what others couldn't see, and he took action on that vision despite the risks, the naysayers, and the unknowns. Now let's talk about how you can take fearless action. First, you need to understand that failure is not a setback, it's data. Every failure is just a learning opportunity that teaches you what does. It's part of the process. And the more you fail, the more you learn. The more you try, the more you grow. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. Fearless action means failing forward, failing fast, and learning every step of the way. This is where most people get stuck. They feel the fear, and instead of pushing through it, they stop, they overthink. They wait for the perfect moment. But there is no perfect moment. There is only now. And if you wait for fear to subside, you'll be waiting forever. The only way to conquer fear is to take action, even when it's messy, even when you're unsure. You have to jump. You have to leap into the unknown. And when you do, you'll discover something incredible. Every time you act in the face of fear, you come out stronger. So what does fearless action look like for you? What's the one thing you're holding back from doing? Is it launching that business, writing that book, asking for that promotion? You know the next step. You've known it for a long time. It's time to stop waiting for permission. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. It's time to take fearless action right now. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is that one step. The moment you make it, you'll realize that the world opens up in ways you never imagined. This is your call to action. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Take that leap, move forward fearlessly, and watch your life change forever. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about rising stronger, more determined, and more focused than you were before. The truth is, everyone faces challenges. Everyone goes through hardship, setbacks, and failures. But it's not the difficulties that define us. It's how we respond to them. Resilience is the key to not only surviving adversity, but using it to fuel your growth and success. Let me take you back to the story of Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before successfully inventing the light bulb. Can you imagine that? 1,000 failures, one after another, each one a reminder that his dream had not yet been realized. But Edison didn't see those failures as defeats. He didn't let each no break his spirit. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work. Think about that mindset for a moment. Every time he failed, he learned something. Every failure was a stepping stone, an opportunity to improve, to get closer to his goal. That's resilience in action. But resilience is not a natural gift. It's something you develop through practice and determination. It's a mindset you build, a muscle you strengthen every time life knocks you down. We all know that life doesn't always go according to plan. But it's in those moments when things go wrong, when the road gets tough, that your resilience is tested. And it's your ability to get up, dust yourself off, and keep going that will determine your future. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey. She faced abuse as a child, lived in poverty, and had a career that seemed doomed after being fired from her first television job. Many people would have given up, but Oprah chose to persevere. She didn't let her circumstances define her. She took her pain, her struggles, and her failures and used them as fuel to create the empire she has today. Oprah's resilience is one of the defining factors that made her who she is. She didn't just survive, she transformed. Now let's talk about what makes resilience so powerful. When you're resilient, you understand that obstacles are not roadblocks, they're just hurdles to jump over. Resilient people don't focus on the problem, they focus on the solution. They don't get stuck in the why me mindset. Instead, they ask, what can I learn from this? They ask, how can I turn this challenge into an opportunity? This mindset isn't something you're born with. It's something you can develop. And you develop it by choosing to keep going when everything inside you says to quit. Every setback, every failure, every mistake is an opportunity to grow. Each one teaches you something new. Resilience is the ability to adapt, to pivot, to keep moving forward, even when the road is unclear. Look at Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison. 27 years of hardship, isolation, and suffering. And when he finally